Nice. So we're recording now because we have to do it for the YouTube, um, and repeat your resource channel for somebody who, might have missed something. Try to record all the sessions that we do now, just for educational purposes. Right. So that's what I'm looking at so far. And then let's see. So it looks good on the 4 hour. And let's look at support and resistance before we even think about drawing the entry trend line. For that one, I would drop down to the 1 hour to draw the entry trend line. Right. So just by looking at support and resistance, this thing looks good. Right. And how do you know? Anytime you're looking at support and resistance, you always want to look at what is happening in the past before you come into the future. So you'll know, is this really a good zone for me to buy or sell, depending on what the scanner is asking you to do. Right. So this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I would like. So using the entry line, I'm seeing resistance, broke as resistance, found support, broke as support, found resistance, broke, support again, support, 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 a lot of support there, broke again, found some resistance, it broke again here. Now this is where it gets important. So it broke as resistance, came close to this X point here, found some support, and it's currently finding a lot more support right now. Do we know, is it respecting the support zone? Not as yet, even though we have some testing of support. These wicks probably would have been news happening. Probably this is when the 9th, the 5th, the 9th. No, this is 2019 at the 9th. How can this be the 9th? Okay, that's the 8th. Okay, cool, I understand. So that was like yesterday and Monday. So yeah. So looking at some support here, but not enough to say, okay, this has been respected. And then we have news. So if news decides to break out tomorrow, it could go either way. We don't know which way it will go, right? But even if news breaks out, you just see it shoot all the way down to the next support level, which would be somewhere here. And if it decides to shoot up, it could definitely go to take profit too, right? So it looks good so far. Let's go to the 1 hour for the entry. And I'm not sure if that even changed for the 1 hour because the scanner's time frame is a bit messed up. But let's see. No, not changing. Hopefully they get that fixed soon, but it's not changing. And anyways, let's improvise. GBP, USD, each one, cycle bin. So good. So we already got all the criteria to line up on the 4, right? But we just want to look at an entry right now. Now I could just drop the, the line over here, but we have to keep in mind that this is the 4 hour chart and not the, the 1 hour. So this 4 hour move, it might be that bad. Let's actually see. It's like, 20 pips till it reaches up and then breaks and retests again to come back down here. So it's not that bad, but let's look at it on the 1 hour and see what's happening. If it would be the same. Yeah, it would most likely be the same. Just now, give me a sec. Right, even though it's passing through there, we adjust it to like this. And then we have all this consolidation here because of news happening tomorrow. Right, like check this out. Let's use this. Support resistance trend line. Same thing Mr. Rampasad was talking about Saturday, and then on Monday, same stuff. So support, resistance, trend line. So this is the 1 hour time frame, right? We're gonna look for that, basically the break of this. We don't know what news is gonna do, but if price does decides to break out of this consolidation zone here, you'll just look for the simple, where is it? Just look for this break, but most likely if it breaks, you're just gonna see it touch that line there. But we also want to see it retested. So break, retest, and then buy, which is the same exact analysis here. Euro AUD for a sell. Once it's on the scanner, we're gonna look at it, right? Anything else? Not right now. But I just look at what's on the scanner. So I mean, the analysis lines up perfectly to what we see on the scanner itself. Downward trending market in a consolidation zone, break up the consolidation, and straight up to the buy. So that looks really good because, you know, simple support resistance, same thing with the confirmations that we see. So once we get a retest anywhere close to this zone here in the entry, first position, you could definitely twin trade this. First position is 20 pips, so that's 2% growth on your account, right? And then, you know, you secure your profit, you move your stop loss to break even, and then you just trail it, right? Like I said, I like the trail up to take profit 2 because it's the next level that I see that's good. I mean, take profit 1 is, you know, it's good, 30 pips, 3%. So if you want to set your take profit, your second position to take profit 1, or put it to take profit 2, or just write it if it goes all the way up to the red line, trend line, that is also good. But just want to see this. And this is how you monitor a trade. Anytime you're looking at a trade, always look for support and resistance levels. So look at this. Yeah. So check this out, guys. We have this here. This is one level. And this is just me just looking at what's currently happening. Next level. And then scroll back a little bit. Yeah, that looks like a good level here too. From here. And that's why this scanner gave us all this information without me drawing any black line, right? So this is what we're gonna look for. Currently the market is in consolidation, so we wait for that breakout, right? It's gonna touch the entry trend line, but we're not gonna enter unless it breaks the entry trend line. So we're gonna look for a break, retest. Remember there's news, so we could expect anything. Just keep your eyes peeled for it. And then buy. Right? You're gonna get secure your 2% up to that level. Once you see that zone is now broken, right? Break, retest, continue, go up again. Next level again, go up again. Just use, for this particular instance, just use the scanners take profits. I don't see any issues, why not? But just monitor it. When you're monitoring the trade throughout the day, if you see, you know, take profit 2 being respected as resistance and prices turning, close off your profits, secure whatever it is that you may have. But that's how you'll know to continue trailing and going up. But for GBP USD, this looks good for the buy, but keep in mind there is news tomorrow. So let me write that down on the scanner because we're going to be posting these charts. So USD news at 8:30 a.m. USD news at 8:30 a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. So we're being careful about that. We're not predicting the news. We're not gonna say, well, it could shoot up, it could shoot down, wherever it goes, but we're just looking at our criteria to enter the trade, support, resistance, trend line, break and retest. And we go it all the way up. In terms of risk, I mean, yeah, 30 pips, 3% of your account, whatever 3% of your account is fine. 30 pips is good for a stop loss. 20 pips is going to be a first position, and then hopefully get it up to this line here, which is like, let's call it 110 pips flat. I mean, 110 pips, 11%. So that's GBP USD. You guys good with that? Is everybody, you know, appreciate that? Let me know in the chat to make sure you guys making some money tonight and for the rest of the week, right? Things was a bit slow, but we're gonna beef things up from tomorrow. Good. Nice. Guys, let me know in the chat. Is everybody good? Also, if you don't know how to screenshot a chat, look at this. There's a little camera icon on the top right hand corner of the screen. Just click it. And what you want to do is not press copy link. There's a little bug in the scanner that when you press this, the link is broken. So just click save image, and you could copy and paste this link, send it to Telegram, or you could just right click and save this image right here. But that's what I'm seeing with GBP USD. So good. So guys, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A few people are good. Let me know. Is everybody else good with GBP USD? I want to make sure everybody understands what we're looking at and why are you looking to enter this trade and when you're looking to enter this trade, most importantly. Cindy Ramjan is asking buy or sell. Good question. Very, very good question. So let me show you this, Cindy. So the harmonic scanner is giving you all the information. It's telling you where to enter the trade, where to potentially exit the trade, if to buy and if to sell. Now, how do you know it's a buy or a sell? Very simple. Check this out, right? When you look at the scanner, you have a list of trades to select. Whichever one you select, here's how easy it is to know if it's buy or sell, right? I mean, we already analyzed the chart, but imagine nothing was here. Look at this, your entry. Your entry is where you enter the trade. Your take profits are where you take in your profit or your, you just want to get money, profits, right? So if your TP, your take profit is above your entry, that means it's a buy. So once your money is above your entry, it's a buy. If your money or your take profit is below your entry, it's a sell. So in this case, Cindy, is it a buy or is it a sell? Let me know in the chat box if you understand what I said. Is this trade a buy or is it a sell? Where's the money? Is the money on top or is the money below? The money that we want to get. It's a buy, very good. So you could take that down for your notes, Cindy. You definitely want to take notes. When your take profit is above your entry, it's a buy. When your take profits are below your entry, it's a sell. And that's another reason why I color code my chart. So you could easily identify based on the color on your MetaTrader 4, blue is buy, red is sell. So when I draw a zone, support and resistance, blue is for the buy, blue upward trend line, red downward trend line, blue arrows show that we're buying, going up in this direction, right? So that's an excellent question. Glad you asked it, but that's the answer. So good. What else are we looking at tonight? So we saved GBP USD, have that in the bag. Euro AUD, somebody was asking that. This is already gone. Excellent trade. Didn't get into it, but it's already gone. What else we have? AUD, NZD. You guys drop it in the chat. GBP, NZD. I'm in that for the sell right now. Believe me, I'm in it for the sell. Where did it go? Okay, it came off the scanner. But I think I moved my stop loss, my take profit to break even because the criteria was not met anymore. As I was in the sell, it went down like I secured 20 pips 2 times from it, so that was 40 pips. And then I had a position open, but it's not selling anymore. It's just, moving up and the criteria is not met anymore. So it was good for the sell. It was on the scanner, but I'm not seeing it anymore. But if it's there, let me know if I'm missing it. But I know it was there. It's a good trade though. Okay, here it is. So this one is, okay, so this is reprinted. The one I looked at actually had only one entry, and it was a good sell as well because it broke supports, found resistance, and it didn't have a downtrend line, but I could tell you this, I don't like it for the sell anymore. I already think I got in for the sell over here, took it down all the way, and then it came back up for the next position. So I'm looking to, break even or come out of the trade right now. But I won't get back into this right now. I mean, it could definitely come back down, but it's already passed. Even though the scanner this is a new scan, right? And it's still brand new for the sell, based on what we were looking at earlier, it already got out. So we'll look at that. AUD NZD, it's already moving. Euro NZD, this was due to news, could possibly correct up this side, but let's wait because I don't see anything much happening with this right now. And this is strongly upward trending. So let's wait. If there's anything tomorrow, we could send it out on the BT channel if it's closer to the entry line. But let's just wait and see what it does. Right? Anything else, guys? Let me know in the chat. NZD card, it's gone. So right now, some of the markets are still correcting after that NZD news yesterday. Yeah, it was NZD news. Okay, so there appears to be not much happening with this session. So the session that we are trading in right now is the Australian and the Tokyo session. There's not much going on right now. So what we'll do is just wait for the next session. And the next session is the London session and the New York session. So most likely, we'll send out, once the scanner prints out some highly probable trade setups, we can look at some things in 10 Chairman 10s or BT channel tomorrow. Feel free to send your charts, but I mean, there isn't anything else for tonight unless I'm missing something. But there seems to be nothing for this session right now. Yeah. Okay, guys, if I'm missing anything, let me know in the chat box. If you have a question, you can ask as well. Not seeing anything on my end. So does anybody have any questions? Right. So guys, if there's nothing else to look at, we can't really do much. Can't do much again. But if somebody else, for GBP NZD, how would you draw the resistance and support lines with the trend? Okay, good question. Just like how we do it on any given day, no different. So because there are two entry lines, you could draw your support and resistance line however you feel to draw it, right? This is the support and resistance line that when I was looking at this pair earlier, this is the support and resistance that I looked at. This one at this entry line, because when I looked at it, it had only one entry line. And this was the line that I was looking at right here, right? And this was the support and resistance that I was looking at for the sell, because this is where I got the sell from over here, and it sold all the way down. Then it came back up, but then it's breaking here as support, right? So we don't know. Sorry, it's breaking here as resistance. So we don't know if this is now gonna be newfound support and continue buying. Even though the scanner is calling for a sell, there isn't any clear-cut downtrend. There's an upward trend for sure, right? There's an upward trend for sure. And this is the 15-minute chart. There isn't one on the 1 hour. So there's an upward trend over there. Yeah, the market could just correct back down here and then go back up. But there's no downward trend to support the sell. And seeing that price already broke through this first zone here, which is a really nice zone of support and resistance. And even though it's at the other entry line, you could still draw up a support and resistance zone there and see if it's to be respected. But I don't like it. I mean, I personally got the profits out of it already, right? For currency pair, for example, GBP USD, please confirm that we are buying the pound and selling the US dollar. We are buying the pound and selling the US dollar. So you're asking correlated pairs, right? Might be confusing. So, basically what you're doing is, yeah, you're looking to, you're looking to go long or, buy the pound versus the US dollar. So that's a bit not confusing, but it's a technical question, because if you're buying the pound versus the US dollar, that basically means that the pound is increasing in strength. Every currency has a strength, right? It has a particular strength, and that deals with fundamental and what's the correct word for it? Fundamental is four types of analysis: technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and I think it's emotional. Can't remember the other one, but it's that one. It's emotional, something like that. Let me see if I pull it up real quick here and see what it is. But that is definitely related to it. And that is, yeah, it's a bit of a technical question, but it's important as well, right? So technical analysis, fundamental analysis. I didn't write it down in my notes. Yeah, I don't have it. You see, I was gonna ask girl, I was going to ask Greg because that was my next option. Sentimental. Good. So yeah, sentimental analysis. So when you look at news, it's not only fundamental, it's also sentimental analysis. So that's the currency strength. So if you're buying the pound, that means that that particular currency, you're expecting it to strengthen, and the US dollar is looking to get weakened. That's why you will find a strong upward trended market. So that is like the real, behind the technical analysis, what is really going on with the bulls and the bears, all these different things. But to keep it simple, Sean, you should just focus on pure technical analysis, because I was talking to some people yesterday and I was showing them it was with the NZD news. Even when NZD news hit and it went down like 60 pips, if you did support and resistance, right, on the, based on technical analysis, news stopped exactly where the support zone was. So even though fundamental and sentimental analysis was in play, right, and look, GBP NZD is just shooting down, and I think I broke even. Let me just check that. Hold that train of thought. Yeah, I broke even. So good. We are safe. Right? And if it just goes down, oh well. But like I said, so it's good. Right? So back to what I was saying. That is where you have the different currency strengths and whatnot. But it's always better to just stick with your technicals, because news, fundamentals, sentimentals, it always respects technical analysis at the end of the day. Yes, news could violate support and resistance, but it would always stop at another zone, right? Cindy is asking, just by looking at the scanner, how can you tell if there's a trade to enter into, right? So let me finish up with Sean here. But does that mean the first currency is stronger than the second pair? Yes, it does. So if the two currencies may not always be strong at the same time. Yes, they can be. Yes, you could have a strong US and a strong GBP, right? That could happen, but I don't know too much about that. I could only speak about from what I know. So if the both of them are strong, I don't know what will happen, because I've never studied that much. But if one is strong and the other one is weak, you know that that particular currency strength will be strengthening, and you should never trade off of a currency strength. Just like that. Bali Granville, web analyzer guy, our very own IML TV educator. He does great IML TV sessions with currency strengths and whatnot. He even looks at it at a different, more in-depth perspective, right? He would definitely know more, but what I just explained is all that I know, and I really don't use it in trading. I just know it because it's good to know. But that's as best as I know. If you really want to dive into currency strengths and what it means, IML TV. That is what IML TV is there for, right? But that's as best as I know about it. So Cindy is asking, by looking at this scan, how can you tell if there's a trade to enter or not? Very good. So Cindy, you always want to look for where price is. So right now, so this dotted red line is where price is currently at right now. Because remember, we was just looking at the chart and price was up here, and while I was talking, price just shot all the way back down, and it's currently here. Now, like I said, the scanner is giving you two entry lines. You want to look for where price is currently is at. Right now, it's below the entry. So if you enter this trade as a sell, although we didn't call it for a sell, but let's say you entered as a sell, you would be in some profits right now, because let's say you press sell while it was up here, you would have been in some profits, because price was currently near the entry lines. It was currently in this particular zone. It was near this price. So you could enter. Let me show you an example of a trade that is no longer valid. Look at this. Where is price? Price is currently at take profit 2. So this trade has already passed, because the scanner called a sell, because your TP or your take profits is below the entry. So if you see the red dotted line, is all the way here and the scanner's entry is all the way up here, how do you know it's passed as well? You can look at the D point. If the D point is up here and price is nowhere close to here, that means that the trade already passed. It's already gone, right? So you could just forget about it and wait for a new scan. So if you have the confirmation checklist, Cindy, from the the BT resource channel, it would show you that the most recent scans are always to the top of the list. So let's say you select a broker, like I selected this particular one here, and I click GBP USD. This is the first one, right? This is the most recent scan. And price, the red dotted line, it is within, you know, the entry zone, the entry line right now. And this is over here. So this is how you know it's a good trade to enter, because it's near the entry, because we enter the entry, right? So Sean, my understanding is for the GBP USD, if the value is increasing, the GBP pound or sterling is getting stronger and vice versa. If the value is decreasing, the GBP is weaker as compared to the USD, if that is your question. Yeah, so that's basically what he was asking with respect to the currency strength and if the value of the pound is increasing or whatnot. Yeah, that's basically what he was looking at with respect to that. So yeah, but like I said, if you want to go like more in depth into understanding currency strengths, Bali Granville does something really good with it. But based on what I shared with you, that's as much as I know and I could share with you, right? So that's good. So Cindy was asking about the scanner. Cindy, just let me know in the chat if you understand what I said, if you'll know if a trade is valid or not. So here we see that price is near the entry. We know it's valid. But what if it passed already? Like this one. Sorry, not this one, but we're waiting on that one still. But you know, let's just say this one. We see like prices all the way in take profits already. It's up here. We're not gonna look at the trade right now because it's already, you know, news affected. So Cindy, let me know in the chat box if that makes sense to you. You know, understanding where price is and knowing if it's, you know, a brand new trade, if it's an old trade, just let me know in the chat. Right? So Mitra and Sean, you guys should be good with respect to the currency strengths, right? But definitely, if you want to know more about it, like I said, Bali does a good explanation with respect to it, and he understands more about it. But that's as much as I know, right? So Cindy, is Cindy still on the line? Yeah, Cindy is there. So Cindy, just let me know if you're good. But otherwise, guys, there's only one chart we're looking at. I still need to understand more. Good. So I'm LTV. Right, my biggest difficulty is knowing the boundaries of support and resistance when looking at a pair. Understand, right? Cindy is saying if price is past the entry point but before take profit one. Past the entry point. So yeah, if it's before take profit one, so like if it's near the entry, Cindy, you could still look at it and base if your criteria still matches up. So let's say, you know, let's say this decides to go all the way up here and it's touching the green entry trend line here. It is still valid because our criteria is not met as yet. So even though you do your analysis and you see price like somewhere up here, but it did not break the entry trend line and it didn't retest as yet, it's still based on your criteria. But let's say you're following the confirmation checklist and you now open up your scanner and you want to look for a new trade, you just look at the top of the list and the most recent trades are here, and then you'll see which ones are good and which ones are already passed, right? So good. So hey Sean, Mr. Granville has a session on conscious strength yesterday morning or this morning. Check it out. So good. So thanks Anthony for that. Support and resistance when looking at a pair. So if you remember from the academy, who was asking that? Mitra. So Mitra, if you remember from the academy, you know, and Mr. Ramzan always talks about that, you know, when I listen to him talking and he's talking about support and resistance, he said if you really go to draw support and resistance on your chart, your whole line, your whole chart could look like a copybook if you really want to map out support and resistance, right? And Adese said in the academy, if you remember, she said that, you know, nobody knows exactly in the world where a support and resistance line is. That's why it's called a zone. So it's only an approximate zone that somebody could draw it over here, somebody could draw it like a hairline below, a hairline above. It's not an exact, exact line, but it's more or less a zone. But that's a good thing about the scanner, right? The scanner, if you guys caught the session where I broke down this harmonic scanner in bits and details, that was not last Saturday, Saturday before, right? Scanners built in with support and resistance, trend line, Fibonacci, all the different things. So what you want to do is practice it. So same thing the confirmation checklist says, draw your support and resistance zone near the entry line of the scanner. You just go back now into the past and you now validate that zone. So okay, so all right, good. Let me look at this. This is resistance, broke resistance, found support. Broke support, found resistance. And that's how you validate a zone. Even if you want to, look at it for support and resistance for your take profits, is the same concept. And you just practice it. Know what is support, know what is resistance, but the scanner already calculates that for you, right? He also sent out a link that actually analyzed the currency strength and updates every 5 minutes. I think he mentioned it. Yeah, so I know that link already. So you guys could look at his session, understand what he's seeing, get the knowledge on it, and check it out from him directly. But based on what I share with you, that's all I know on currency strength. Right, so seeing that, we don't have anything else to look at, you guys are asking some good questions tonight. Okay, it's AUD, USD, M15, JFX. Let's see if it's on the 1 hour first. No, it's not. Right, so good. So AUD USD is looking for the buy on the 1 hour, sorry, the 15 minutes. So I really don't like looking at too much charts on the 15-minute. It's choppy and I don't like it. But just by eyeballing this, let me see if I can switch to the 1 hour. Price hasn't found support in that particular zone since a good while, right? Since all the way this had this big drop, that was in March, I think, or January. Yeah, so that was January. So price is near the entry line. Market is downward trending. So let's still look at it and see if it makes sense to actually call a buy or a sell on it. But this kind of is calling a what? Is this kind of calling a buy or is this kind of calling a sell? So Cindy, I know Cindy is on the call. Cindy, is this a buy or is it a sell? Since you asked the question earlier. Is this kind of calling a buy? Is it good? Very good. This is why I like doing this, because you guys learn a lot. So it's a buy. Very good. How do we know it's a buy? The take profits and your money is above your entry. And check this out, Cindy. The entry is all the way down here, but price did not reach the entry as yet. The dotted line is over here, but the entry line is down here. So price still has time to come down to the entry line. So we're still waiting, but we're gonna look at it and see, is it a good trade to look at, whatnot. Let me do my favorite thing and see if I could get it. Nope, not so much. That doesn't work out. So price hasn't been in this support zone since January, which is very, very low. So it's definitely a low point in the market. Right? So look at this. I didn't even need to draw the support and resistance zone because I already have the entry line here. So if I go back, I see that this was, broken as support, finding some more support here, and then it went all the way up. Never came back to that particular zone till today. Hopefully it reaches down to the entry line. So what we're gonna look at is we're gonna wait. Because this is a low in the market, we could definitely wait and see what price does when it reaches here. So we're still waiting, and because it's downward trending, we're not gonna take the buy as yet. Right, so that's good. So we could wait on that, see what happens. Because it's such a low in the market, always remember, what goes up must comes down, what goes down must go up. So let's see if this zone is respected. Let's see what's going on when price comes down to this zone here. Obviously, we're going to wait on the usual criteria. Price is going to play in this zone. Going to come here, and you're going to get the retest. Hopefully, you're going to get the retest, more than likely. And then we'll look for the buy. And let's take it for take profit 1. To roughly be around, let's just say 20 pips. All right, 20 pips is for that take profit there. So that's 2%. And if it breaks the red line and it's no longer downward trending, then we could consider take profit 2 and then take profit 3, only if the red line is broken. How do we know that? Because we're looking at major reversal areas. So let's just wait on this. I'm not looking at anything right now, but it could come down by tonight, early tomorrow. It's fairly early. So by, let's say by midnight, you know, it may reach down here, but we don't have any AUD or entity news till tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. So let's still put that in there. AUD news at 9:30 p.m. EST tomorrow, because 9:30 p.m. already went for today. So good. Okay, guys, so that's the two charts that we have. We have GBP USD for the buy. We have AUD USD for the buy as well, right? And that's all that I'm looking at. So I really appreciate you guys asking, you know, definitely asking questions, because that's how you learn. These sessions are for you to learn and earn at the same time, not just, you know, make money, right? You know, I appreciate each and every one of you. You know, I really, you know, enjoy doing this. So guys, if no other questions, I'll just leave the line open for 2 more questions. Anybody else has anything to ask? We have, you know, 9 minutes again, but let's just leave it open for 2 minutes. Anybody else has any questions, let me know. But if not, we'll close off here for tonight, and you know, probably get some IML TV, something like that. Right, so, oh, as I remembered, on tomorrow's Thursday, right? Tomorrow is the open trade night in Port of Spain. So those in Central, East, West, that is going to be at Movie Town Banquet Conference Center, 7 p.m. You guys definitely want to be there, right? Have a lot of things coming up, and we are just a couple, you know, less than 2 weeks away from Jamaica. So for those of you, you know, brand new P1000, you know, Miss Rihanna Forbes, right? So if you want to get P1000 done, you want to be there at Jamaica, there's still time. So we have a lot of things coming up. Jamaica, we have open trade nights. We have the major company convention happening this weekend, where we'll have the, you know, the 100K giveaway draw. So that'll be something exciting to look forward to. Hope you guys got your entries in for that. That's going to be this weekend, right? So Mr. Thomas will fill us in with that. Right, last question. How often does the scanner update a trade or show a new trade? Whenever it feels like. Could be next minute, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the evening, lunchtime. It's whenever a setup plays out and it meets all the criteria, then it will print out a trade. So here's my recommendation. Again, this is why the academy is so important. You need to know what is your trading plan. You need to know what is your trading plan. So if you didn't make a trading plan as yet, go into the IML Academy and make your trading plan, because that's going to let you know when is the best time for you to trade. So if you have time in the morning, you're going to trade the market overlap, which is, New York and London, and the overlap is I think it's 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's the market overlap. So if you want to trade between that time, if you're trading in the nights that we are trading in now, that will be 8 p.m. to midnight, I believe it is, right? So the scanner will always print out trades when the market is moving, when criteria is being met, and that could be any time of the day, any time of the night. So, but once you know what your trading plan is and when you want to trade, that is how you'll know when to go into the scanner. We don't run down the market, we don't chase it, we just react it, right? Last question, what is the open trade night about? Is it for new people who have joined already? So good, so the open trade night is for everybody, for if you're in the business already, if you have a guest, if you have somebody you want to bring, the open trade night is where all customers, IBOs, guests could come out and be a part of the bigger picture of iMarkets Live and the organization we are part of. And that's why we stress so much on it, because this is where you're not coming to hear the presentation again. This is where you're coming to hear new testimonies of people who are winning big. This is where you're now getting to work on that trader's mindset, because every time I see new people from the team come out to the open trade night, they said, wow, I learned something. Or wow, I feel inspired. Like me, example, when I now got started, I was thinking that I was doing something completely wrong, right, in trading. But when I came out to the open trade night after Mr. Ambasad, begged me to come out, I was like, I am playing with this thing, because I saw people who were younger than me, people who were even my age and older than me, they were absolutely killing it. And I was like, listen, if they could do it, then I could do it. So it's good to keep you in the right mindset. It's good to, connect with the team, meet people like, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Rampasad, myself, Ms. Rihanna, Grell, all the leaders, all the top traders. You come out, you meet with people. You could also learn things from IML TV educators. So, our organization has 4 IML TV educators. They are also at the open trade night, so you could learn from them. You could interact with them, and just experience the bigger picture of what iMarkets Live is about. Because it's just not for us to be on these trade sessions on Telegram, but to actually meet and connect and feel a more part of the community and the family that we have here at 10 Chairman 10s and BT channel. Because that is what we create, a family environment, and all of us are definitely in a spirit to win and do better. So open trade night is something you want to be at. Get in contact with your upline about it. But if you want some more details on it, Mr. McSween is always posting a flyer in the groups. You can't miss it. But look at this. In the BT Resource channel, the website, sorry, we have a tab called Open Trade Night. So tomorrow is Port of Spain. You just click on Port of Spain. You have the location, exactly where it is. Everybody knows where Movie Town is. There's in Guyana, we have in Trinidad, right? So there's some information here. It even has the flyer. So this is for guests, customers, IBOs, right here. So there's Port of Spain and there's San Fernando. So you just click whichever one and you get the location, more information. But definitely want to come out, bring a friend, bring a teammate, whatever it may be, but don't want to miss it. So guys, let me wrap up. Let me stop talking. Good night to everybody. It has been a pleasure. I appreciate each and every one of you, and good night. Latoya, in the States have a lot more going on. Latoya, if you're in the States, you want to be at IML Take Flight this weekend. Fly out to Take Flight, right? Chat with Mr. Thomas and go on to Take Flight. But Trinidad is okay. But definitely come out to Trinidad when you get to. But a good few of them are coming out to Take Flight this weekend. So yeah. So good night, everybody, again, and enjoy the rest of your night.